features Beach Hops and Magnes Spartans. As you're cheering for the Beach Hops, let's hear you make some noise! All right, great crowd tonight. And if you're cheering for the Magnes Spartans, let's hear you make some noise! Awesome! All right. As we prepare here, we'd like to give a shout out to our jersey sponsor, Kono, for supplying the jerseys that you see on the athletes tonight. If you want one of your own, you can order them on PremierVolleyballLeague.org. First, let's meet and greet the Magnes Spartans. Number 2, Anthony DiGirolamo. Number 3, Cayman Wilkins. Number 4, Jordan Dick. Number 5, Kieran McGovern. Number 7, Chris McLaughlin. Number 8, Luke Sibb. Number 9, Ture Wakwezi. Number 10, Tyler Motherwell. Number 11, Andrew Dubé. Number 12, Matt Powell. And number 13, Oleg Kovalchuk. And now let's meet and greet Beach Hops. Number 1, Andrew Shotbolt. Number 2, Samuel Cloak. Number 3, Yasmin Cole. Number 4, Trevor McLaughlin. Number 6, Jeremy Fanton. Number 7, James Battiston. Number 8, Jordan Darlington. Number 9, Alexa Miladinovich. Number 10, Grant Lynch. Number 12, Alex Turkowitz. And number 15, Terrell Bramwell. Fans, we are playing 3 sets, each to 15 points.
I'll let the announcer explain this part.
Team hits 14. Both teams go into side-out scoring, which means you must serve to score to win the set. Each set will have a different value in the standings. If you win set 1, you add 1 point to your standings. If you win set 2, you add 2 points to your standings. And if you win set 3, you add 3 points to your standings. Fans, fun fact, this is a rematch of last year's Premier Cup between the Magnes Spartans and the Beach Hops.
So here we are. Welcome. Match number 2, week 3. Toronto Premier League 1 volleyball here from Ryerson University in the heart of downtown Toronto. Young and Gerard. It's a muggy June night in the downtown core. It's been pouring rain all day, but a great atmosphere here in the gym at Ryerson. I'm Chris McKee doing the play-by-play. Thanks for joining us. Beach Hops will start things off with the service. Jasmine Cole with a nice serve. And just missed out of bounds. Kovalchuk
goes out of bounds. 1-0 Beach Hops.
So Beach Hops in white with the teal trim. Magnes in the light blue with white trim jerseys. Cole will serve again. Jasmine out of Mohawk College down in Hamilton, which is where we were last week, gets an ace. Good start to the evening for Cole.
Jasmine, 2-0 Beach Hops.
Thanks for joining us here on the One Volleyball YouTube stream. Don't forget to click subscribe, stay up to date on all things One Volleyball. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook. And over the net, it looks like DiGirolamo was called. And so Beach Hops up 3-0. Cole serves again. Last week down at McMaster, Jasmine, one of the better players on the floor for Beach Hops, and just missed by a hair on that. That's just out of camera view. It almost looked good. So Anthony DiGirolamo will serve. Anthony out of the University of Windsor. Quite a few Windsor Lancers tonight. Good reaction. And that's muscled. Kovalchuk out-muscled Bramwell. Magnes
Round 1.
in the light blue trail 3-2. If you missed the first game, Madawaska dominated Soul Machine, winning all 3 sets, so they get 6 points. Nice serve. And an ace to Girolamo.
Spell Anthony without A for ace. 3-3.
Tied at 3 here in set 1. We'll play 3 sets for certain. 1 point for the first set, 2 for the second, 3 for the third, and DeGirolamo into the net. Beach Hops with the lead. James Battison will serve for Beach Hops. If I ever wanted to play for a team, playing for a brewery is always a good idea. Battison out of York U. Bramwell. And everyone playing hot potato with it. From the back row, Cole, he just completely whiffed on that one off the side of his right hand.
Oleg Kovalchuk serving.
So Kovalchuk back to serve. Oleg played his university ball right here at Ryerson. It's one of the things I know was the reasons behind moving one volleyball around week to week. Bramwell from the right side.
Terrell Bramwell off the block. 5-4.
And the ball looked like it landed back on Beach Hop's side, but Bramwell,
Terrell
with luck,
Bramwell serving.
Terrell will serve. Mentioned moving it around so friends and family of players who are alumni of, say, McMaster last week, Humber the week before, get a chance to come out and see. Attendance was pretty good last week down in Hamilton, so far so good. Bramwell, Terrell gets the roll.
Through the block. 6-4 Beach Hops.
Well, Terrell showed flashes of brilliance last week down in Hamilton, but didn't have his best night. Looks a little more up for it tonight. High toss, gorgeous serve. There's Terrell diving. And it looks like someone touched the net on Magnes.
Timeout.
Well, timeout on the floor. Beach Hops up 7-4. So I'm Chris McKee. Thanks for joining us here on the One Volleyball YouTube stream. A little bit more settled than last week calling the game. Although I sat and made 4 pages of notes last night while I was at work. Did a lot more research on the players this week. Each week, try to add more things to talk about. 4 pages of notes that I left in my car, which is now parked at Kennedy Station in Scarborough. So the good news is I got a pretty good memory, so I remembered quite a bit of the info. So be throwing little bits of info in throughout the evening. Well, the one thing I missed this week, we had a DJ pumping some tunes last week. No music this week, only in between. Because it usually gives me something to talk about when they're playing tunes. I can wow you with my music knowledge. Don't worry, I won't start singing or freestyle rapping in between. Bramwell for Beach Hops. High toss. Hammers it off the lip of the net. And who's that on the block? Trevor McLaughlin on the block. Big time. So McLaughlin had himself a night last week down in Hamilton. Bramwell serves again. There's Terrell, the CCAA Player of the Year, 2012. And you heard the sound of that. Announcer's jinx.
Magnes down 3.
Cayman Wilkins serving. So Cayman out of Humber. Nice serve. Bramwell from the right side. Terrell Bramwell with the kill.
In the land was the most thunderous attack of the game. Terrell Bramwell. Trevor McLaughlin serving.
McLaughlin back. McLaughlin was the OCAA Player of the Year a couple of years ago. Blocked,
Luke Sim hits it through
but
the
it
wall.
falls in for Luke Sim.
Magnes still down 3.
Matt Powell back to serve.
Powell serving for Magnes.
Matt Powell goes 6'8". He's out of Melville, Saskatchewan. I've been to Saskatchewan. Can't say I've been to Melville. And great reaction. Looks like Jordan Darlington with the kill.
Says not today.
Well, Jordan had a quiet week last week, making himself a little more known tonight here at Ryerson. Cole, Jasmine Cole with the kill.
Jasmine Cole paints the line. 11-6 Beach Hops.
And that falls in for an ace.
He's been at Home Depot lately. Paints the back corner. 12-6 Beach Hops.
12-6 Beach Hops. Cruising here in the first set. Too strong on that attempt.
Serve goes out of bounds.
Magnes.
Down 5. Andrew Dubé serving for Magnes.
So Andrew Dubé into the game. Andrew out of Durham College. Called his games for his last year out in Oshawa. Puts that into the net.
13-7 Beach Hops. Samuel Cloak serving
Sam
for
Cloak
Beach
back to
Hops.
serve. Sam out of Guelph University. Was an OUA All-Star in his time with the Griffins. And it worked out. Luke Sims,
2000 goes for baseline.
I don't know if he knew much about it. It didn't sound clean coming off his hands.
8 serving 13.
He's kind of motioning that he didn't know much about it either. Either way, works out for Magnes. And that one, the bottom just fell out of that. That's an ace for Luke Sims.
Finds the back corner.
So it looked like it was going way out, and then all of a sudden, like a sinker ball from Marcus Stroman, it just dropped in for the ace. Sims again. Great reaction from Dubé to keep that in. My goodness, Oleg Kovalchuk
Brings the power.
with the kill. He's thunderous. He's a big dude. You see the power on his swing there.
Serving 13.
We got a timeout on the floor.
With Beach Hops holding onto a slim 3-point lead. And so you want to check out where we are in the next few weeks. We are in Oshawa at Durham College next week. And then after that, we'll be at Scarborough Pan Am Center before we head to the semifinals. Just go to premiervolleyballleague.org/Toronto for schedules and information on the rest of our season.
Back to the action here in the first set. Beach Hops up 13-10.
For Magnes.
Sims. Bramwell. And that hits the roof out of bounds. It'll be Beach Hops point. And now they'll serve for the set.
14-10 Beach Hops. Side out. Set points.
Cole
Beach Hops.
serves at set point. Cole from the right of your screen. And great reaction from Cole. Bramwell. And that's blocked. Tyler Motherwell.
He's Tyler Motherwell. Tyler Motherwell with the block. Serve goes to Magnes.
So DeGirolamo will go back to serve for Magnes, trying to keep the set alive. Beach Hops cannot win the set on this point. They must win on service. Bramwell from the right side. And another block, back-to-back blocks, Tyler Motherwell.
The word is on the street. Tyler Motherwell with another block at the net. 11 serving 14.
DeGirolamo serves again. Anthony out of Newmarket, Ontario, about an hour north of downtown. And he needs to hit that ball about an hour north further, puts that one in the bottom of the net.
Serving for Beach Hops. Set point.
So James Battison will serve at set point. James played Beach National for 4 years. Misses on that one.
Switches to
Magnes point. Kovalchuk back to serve.
Oleg Kovalchuk serving.
So Beach Hops had Magnes Spartans dead in the water. They've allowed them to creep back in. Kovalchuk serves to tie the set. Jordan Darlington. Emphatic with the kill.
Serve goes back to Beach Hops.
Darlington jumping out of the gym.
Bramwell serving.
Now Bramwell back to serve for the set.
Timeout, Magnes.
We got a timeout on the floor.
14-11.
Thanks for joining us here on the One Volleyball YouTube stream. I'm Chris McKee doing the play-by-play. It's a gorgeous night in downtown Toronto. A little rainy and muggy, but still enjoying the atmosphere of being down in the city. I teach at a music college just up at Yonge and Wellesley. Well, I did for the first semester, so I was down in this area a couple times a week. It's been 2 months since I've been back downtown, in this part of downtown anyways. I went to go see Snoop Dogg a couple weeks ago down at Rebel Nightclub. Enjoyed that. That's my second time seeing Snoop. Bramwell serves for the set. He's off to the right of your screen. High toss. Deadly serve. Well dealt with. Darlington. And Dubé topped it. And there it is. Beach Hops takes your first set. So they get 1 point. We're back for set two in just a moment. If you are at home watching on the live stream, I just have to pause the stream for a moment. There's nothing wrong with your computer, nothing wrong with our signal. I just had to run away from the camera for a moment. We're back. Got to reset the scores. We're back for set two. Beach Hops dominant in the first set, led by Jasmine Cole and Terrell Bramwell. Now Magnes seeing if they can even things up. Don't forget, sticking around. Later this evening, the two women's matches.
To start off set number 2.
DeGirolamo serves, deadly. Ball hanging up. Would have liked to see someone on Magnes put that away, and they don't. And that's what happens. Beach Hops. Cayman Wilkins was there. It's a good opportunity just to hammer that one away. Cole now serves. Yasmin's played pro all over Europe and Asia. He's a well-traveled player. And I got to stop complimenting these guys because the second I do, they put every serve into the net. Matt Powell now serves. Bramwell, Terrell Bramwell with the kill.
Goes over the block.
So Terrell having a night already.
James Madison serving for Beach Hops.
Madison serves. Or sorry, Battison, forgive me. Nicely placed. Andrew Dubé.
Finds the open court. Cayman Wilkins serving.
Wilkins back to serve. And Cayman hits that one out to Oshawa. It's landing on the campus of Durham College right about now. Bramwell serves off to your left side of the screen. Bramwell well dealt with by Wilkins. Oh, clever. De Girolamo.
Sneakiest attack is cloak and dagger. Sam Cloak finds the open court. Terrell Bramwell.
Sorry, that was Sam Cloak. Forgive me. Girolamo, number 2 on Magnes. And then off the back of Jordan Darlington's head. Darlington at least gets a laugh out of it.
He's okay. Oleg Kovalchuk serve for Magnes.
Kovalchuk back to serve for Magnes. Beers on Bramwell after for Darlington when you do that. Kovalchuk with a nice serve. Bramwell from the back. From the left side, McLaughlin. Trevor McLaughlin with the kill. They're saying 5-3. I had it 5-2. I'm going to leave it like that for a second until we figure this out. McLaughlin back to serve. Trevor into the net.
McLaughlin hits the net. Magnet down 1. And
So
Dubé
we are going
serving for
5-4.
Magnes.
Dubé will serve. Dubé, like Matt McGurr, started at Mohawk, then transferred over to Durham. Call. Call again. And right at Wilkins, Yasmin Cole.
Cole ricochets it off of Cayman Wilkins. 6-4. 6-4 Beach Hops.
So Jeremy Fanton in to serve, number 6. Jeremy not at the game last week. Or if he wasn't playing. There's Fanton on cue. Great diving dig. Dubé got a hand on that one. And that hit the roof. Unlucky. Falls into play. So that, of course, one of the nuances of playing here at Kerr Hall. It's a really low roof. That's one thing I forgot about last year. That happened quite a bit. Whereas Mattamy, the roofs are pretty high. This is an old building, built more for basketball than it is for volleyball. But I like it. It's got a great atmosphere in here. Loved being down here last summer for the Toronto Premier League. Did all the women's games last year. This is my first season doing the men's game. Enjoying it so far. But this has one of the feel of an old school college gym before big budgets and national branding. Just a cool gym. So Fanton will serve. Beach Hops up 7-4. They won the first set. Madawaska Madmen took the first match in the men's way out of bounds.
Fanton serve goes out of bounds. Magnes down 2. Luke Sims serving.
Luke Sims serves. Luke out of Western University down in London, 2 hours west of here. One of my favorite schools in the country. And who's on the block?
Hits it off the block and then off himself. Magnes down 1.
Sims again. Luke Sim.
That's an ace for Luke Sim. 7-7.
Sim with the ace ties it up.
Timeout, Beach
And now a
Hops.
timeout on the floor for Beach Hops.
Overtime
Good
at
call
7-7.
by head coach James Bradley. They look a little out of sorts after coming out of the last timeout.
Our jersey sponsor, Kono, for supplying the awesome swag that the athletes are wearing today. If you like your own blue and white or green and white jerseys, you can get one of your own at Premier Volleyball League.
So you want to stay up to date on all things One Volleyball. You can check out the website. They got all the schedule, stats, everything, players. A little bit of info this year on each player. Been helpful to me in calling the game.
We'd also like to shout out Moulton, the official ball of the Toronto Premier League.
So I'll give a shout out. The in-house announcer's doing that. Shout out to my guy Tony Clark at home watching. Tony, the head coach for the women's team at Durham College. And there's Magnes again.
You can't spell Powell without Pow. Matt scores the point for Magnes.
Matt Powell with the kill gives Magnes their first lead of the evening. Bramwell blocked, but out of bounds.
Terrell Bramwell off the block. 8-8. Samuel Cloak serving for Beach Hops.
So Cloak back to serve. Cloak was a OUA second-team All-Star at his days at Guelph. Bramwell taps that over off the roof, but kept alive for Magnes. Bramwell, Wilkins diving dig, nicely done. And Kovalchuk into the net. They're saying it was touched by Call. He owns up to it.
Oleg hits it off a block.
Very Canadian of Jasmine to
And
own that up.
Girolamo serving.
Cloak again. Dubé. And then off the roof, Bramwell, the ball ricocheting everywhere.
His body 90 degrees to score that point.
So that's playing here at Kerr Hall. It's a different game than playing anywhere else because you got to be ready for these quick bounces off the roof. Guys have done a pretty good job dealing with that tonight. Hopefully the ladies stand on the side warming up, take note. There again on cue off the roof. And that's out of bounds.
For Yasmin Cole.
Cole with an ace.
10-9 Beach Hops.
Mentioned Cole, the CCAA Player of the Year in 2008. Back when The Hills was the #1 show on television. In my world, it was anyways. Blocked. Terrell Bramwell. Terrell feeling that one. Lets out a good roar after that block.
11-9.
Cole serves again for Beach Hops. If you're just joining us, Beach Hops in white with the teal trim. Magnes in the light blue with the white trim. A great reaction from Bramwell with the left hands. And Kovalchuk off the hand of Bramwell falls in for Magnes.
Magnes down 1. Matt Powell serving.
Powell back. Powell played at Brandon University as well as Keanu College. And it looks like a double touch called. It is. No, he's going over the net.
Magnes point. 11.
We're tied at 11. Powell again.
Substitution. Coming in, number 1, Andrew Shotbolt.
Andrew Shotbolt seeing his first action of the evening for Beach Hops. And they go right at him. Volleyball 101. Bramwell. Wilkins there for the help. Dubé off Bramwell's hand. Andrew Dubé for Magnes.
Magnes with the
Finally, the action heating up here at Kerr Hall at Ryerson.
timeout, Beach Hops. With the
Timeout on the
score,
floor.
Magnes 12, Beach Hops 11. And for Bolton for being the official ball.
Of course,
the Toronto Premier
the
League.
Toronto Raptors
Kono,
trying to make history tonight.
official jersey. And of course, our friends at
Looking
Popeyes
forward to
Aurora,
hopefully try to
there's
catch
a bunch of
the last few minutes of the game
which we may
at
be
Boston
able to get
Pizza
at the
just
Premier
around the
League
corner.
And
I'm
of
taking
course,
advantage of that
if you
10%
wanna
off.
Check us out on socials. One Volleyball is where we are on Instagram, and onevolleyball.org.
So the world isn't coming to an end. It looks like Instagram is back up. Instagram was down for a couple hours. I just checked in between games. It killed me. I posted a picture today, and then Instagram goes down, and so it's killing my likes ratio because no one's able to check it out. And now, by the time they get back on, it's just lost. It's, I'm losing out on likes. Disappointing. Powell serves, and Powell
That Powell serve goes
hits
out
that
of
one
bounds.
somewhere onto Queen Street.
Substitution. Coming in is number 8, Jordan Darlington.
We're tied at 12.
Baxton serving for Beach Hops.
Batson to serve. James has played pro in Holland and Austria. And into the net is McLaughlin. Sorry, into the net, Jordan Dick. The light blue and the white is messing with my old eyes. It's so close
12 Beach Hops.
in my mind. Forgive me. Ooh, with authority, Olin Kovalchuk.
Activate call.
Whenever he hits it, it is just blunt force.
Haven Wilkins serving for the Spartans.
He can put a hole in the floor with his swing. Wilkins back to serve. Wilkins, an OCAA second-team All-Star in his days at Humber. Cole from the back row. Yasmin Cole with the kill.
From the back.
And now Beach Hops
13.
will serve for the
Beach
set.
Hops.
Terrell Bramwell.
We're into side-out scoring. Set point. Beach Hops. Timeout, Magnes.
And now Magnes wants a timeout.
Beach Hops 14. Magnes 13. Both teams are out of timeouts.
There we go. Now we got some music bumping in here. I've been waiting for that all night. Starting off with some house music. It just adds a lot more atmosphere when you got some tunes bumping in between timeouts. Maybe the DJ's stuck in traffic. It is downtown Toronto. So aside from calling volleyball, I'm also a traffic reporter for News Talk 1010 and TSN 1050 and Jewel 88.5 on the weekends as well. I do their stations. I also work for Golf Talk Canada on TSN. It's a golf show on TSN. I was down in Hamilton all last week covering the Canadian Open. Awesome to see. Rory McIlroy with the win. And I also do play-by-play for the CEBL. It's a new professional basketball league in Canada. And as well, play-by-play for Orangeville Prep, the number 1 high school team in the country. They're going to have two of their players from last year's team drafted in the first round of this year's NBA draft. Bramwell gets the roll and the ace, Terrell Bramwell. He's been the best player on the floor for Beach Hops tonight. So that's the end of set 2. Beach Hops up 2-0 and 3 points to 0. We'll see you back in a few minutes for the start of set 3.
Fans, just a reminder, set number 3 is worth 3 points, which means that Magnes could take set 3 and tie up the match, or Beach Hops could run away with it for 6-0. So if you're cheering for Magnes to come back, make some noise! And if you're cheering for Beach Hops to run away with a 6-0 victory, make some noise! All right, we got an awesome crowd tonight for Toronto Premier League. set number 3. On the court for set number 3 for the Spartans, Luke Sim, Anthony DiGirolamo, Jordan Dick, Matt Powell, Oleg Kolochuk, and Andrew Dubé.
Back for the start of the third set. It's been all beach hops.
Set number 3, James Battiston, Terrell Brown.
In the first set, it was all
Jordan Darlington,
Madawaska dominating Soul Machine. Here we are, beach hops. Took the first 2 sets. Andrew Dubé will serve for Magnes to start things off. Dubé way out of bounds.
Dubé hits the antenna.
Not the start you want.
1-0 beach hops.
Cole will serve to start the third set for beach hops. Nice serve right at Dubé, but he deals with it. And Luke Sim, emphatic with the kill. He hung up there and put that away, showed his vertical. Now Luke back to serve. Luke's played pro in Sweden. And McLaughlin, a little ambitious, puts that into the net.
Trevor McLaughlin hits the antenna.
And looks like he slipped on a wet spot.
Magnes.
Either way, Sim will serve again. Luke, a 3-time OUA silver medalist. At Western, I'm going to assume he was losing to McMaster on those 3. In the corner. Is that in? Matt Powell.
Powell's attack goes out of
It
bounds.
just missed.
2-2. James
Beach hops
Battiston
point.
Serving for beach hops.
Ball's flying around so fast. Tough to see. Beach hops again. Oh, emphatic. Jordan Dick with the kill.
Point for Magnes.
And then he gives the Dikembe Mutombo finger wag after.
Anthony DiGirolamo serving for Magnes.
The Girolamo serving. And sees it dangling up there. Olive Kovalchuk.
Says not today. 4-2 Magnes.
So I got to stop listening to the in-house announcer on the score because that's 3 times I've been right. Only 1 time he's been right. So I'm up 3-1. There's a match going on between the match here. The Girolamo serves again. And no, just missed. I'm with him. I thought it just missed.
Just outside the baseline.
Everyone on Magnes celebrating thought he had the ace, and I was of the thought that it just missed. So good call by the officials. Nothing too controversial last week. I missed the first week in Humber due to work obligations. So last week was my first week, and I'm never one to shy away from. And there's an ace. So they get it back. They made a replay. So what's the score?
4-2, the scoring from the floor official.
Let me reset. So everyone's confused, just like I am. So thankfully, I'm not I'm not the one up here messing up. Everyone on the floor confused what the score is. I guess with the ace, one official called the ace in, another one called it out. It looked out to me, so they just replayed, is what I was gathering. And
Timeout, beach hops.
we'll time it on the floor. Let me try to find out the official score. So apparently I'm the voice of reason in here. If that last point counted for Magnes, it would make it 5-2.
We check the score with the webcast. It is 5 points for Magnes and 2 points for Beach Hops.
Apparently I'm the official scorer in here. I'm drunk with power, let me tell you. Back to the action. The Girolamo, another ace. He's got it going right now.
Girolamo with another ace. Beach Hops substitution. Coming in is number 11, Jeremy Fanton.
So Fanton, now wearing his regular jersey, he had me confused because he was wearing 6. He had the libero jersey on. In the first set, I was a little thrown off. And another ace. The Girolamo is on fire. That's his 3rd in a row. The Girolamo lighting up Beach Hops. Another good serve, no ace, though, finally dealt with by Beach Hops. McLaughlin, and that's kept alive by Spartans. Oh. And finally,
with the block, Jordan Darlington.
Jordan Darlington with the block. Bramwell back to serve.
Serving for Beach Hops.
Terrell, we were talking Instagram earlier, being down. Terrell, 25,000 Instagram followers. Checked his account last week, doing some research on him. I got some catching up to do from the back row. Cole. Powell. Matt Powell paints the baseline.
Powell finds the baseline. 8-3 Magnes. Matt Powell serving for Magnes.
Powell back to serve now, excuse me.
Beach Hops substitution. Coming in is number 7, James Battiston.
Mentioned Powell out of Melville, Saskatchewan.
Originally wearing number 1, Andrew Shotbolt is now wearing number 6.
So Terrell Bramwell just missed.
Terrell Bramwell's attack goes out of bounds.
So thanks to the scorer's table, Shotbolt now wearing the libero jersey.
And now wearing number 11, Jeremy Fanton.
Powell again. Oh, clever dump, but a great dig from Powell. Jordan Darlington puts it into that.
The only way this elevator goes is straight down.
Jeez, he can jump out the gym.
Thor serving 9.
So Darlington is playing for the Jamaican national team. Former OCAA All-Star.
Trevor McLaughlin serving for Beach Hops.
So this one moving a lot slower than the first match. A lot of stoppages. Oleg Kovalchuk,
Hits it off the block.
another big swing. When he goes up, it's as good as gold.
10-4.
There's just so much power behind his swing, it's tough to deal with.
For Magnes.
Wilkins back to serve. He struggled with his serve tonight. Goes a little soft touch. Darlington right at Wilkins. Jordan Darlington.
Or should we call it
Keep feeding number 8.
Gets up for that point.
Darlington wants a breather.
Serving 10.
A little gassed.
Andrew Shotbolt serving for
Now Shotbolt back to serve. Andrew out of York U. And puts that into the net.
Shotbolt hits the net.
11-5. Magnes comfortably in front in the second set.
Oleg Kovalchuk serving for Magnes.
Oleg back to serve. Oleg's played pro in Greece, Denmark, Italy. Another good serve. McLaughlin just pushes it over. Ooh! Luke Sim.
Sim's attack goes out of bounds.
It's out of bounds. Luke thought it was good, so did I. Just out of bounds. Beach hop ball.
11.
Cloak back to serve.
For beach hops.
Had the chance to see Sam in person a couple years ago. But Queens play. Misses on that attempt.
Out of bounds.
All Magnes here in the second set.
12-6 Magnes.
I think all the stoppages, the timeouts, the disruption in play has really done a number on beach hops. They had a really good flow going in the first set, and you see them just completely out of sorts right now. All Magnes here in the second. Sometimes, I mean, hey, you saw the Raptors coach Nick Nurse getting in trouble for calling an ill-timed timeout the other day, stopped the momentum of his team.
Beach hops, number 9, Alexa Milodinovic.
Perhaps Beach Hop's guilty of that tonight. And Dubé's really struggled with his serve this evening. When he goes power,
Serving for Beach Hops.
he hits it back out to Oshawa. When he goes touch, it goes into the net. And then he went medium. Didn't work. And Sim went under the net. Easy call.
Point goes to Beach Hops on that sequence. 8 serving 13. Beach Hops down 5.
Call again. Oh, lovely block, McLaughlin.
Wins that block battle.
And now a timeout on the floor for Magnes.
Timeout, Magnes with a score. Magnes 13. Beach Hops.
So thanks for joining us here on the One Volleyball YouTube stream. I'm Chris McKee doing the play-by-play. You can check me out on Twitter at Mr. McKee, MrMCKEE, or on Instagram, Mr. McKee with a CM on the end. So I'm so thankful. I had another work obligation tomorrow morning up at Cedar Brae Golf Course. We're supposed to film a segment for Golf.Canada. It's been canceled. We're worried about rain. And so I don't have to, if this ends up being a party tonight in Toronto, I don't have to get up early for that. So win-win for me. Cole will serve. Beach Hops trying to creep back into the second set. And just missed. Good eye from Dubé and Wilkins. And now Magnes will serve for the set. Luke Sim.
14-9 Magnes. We're into side-out scoring. Luke Sim serving for the set.
This is for the set, Sim. And James Battison, he topped it, but it was good enough. Didn't hit it cleanly, but it worked out just fine.
James Battiston serving for Beach Hops.
Battison will serve. Mentioned earlier, played beach for the national team for 4 years and puts that into the net.
To Magnes.
So Magnes can't win unless they're serving.
De Girolamo serving.
De Girolamo had 3 big aces earlier in the set. He's going to try to put this one away for Magnes Spartans. Bramwell. Terrell Bramwell. Ooh. With authority.
Takes back the serve for Beach Hops.
Terrell almost put a hole in the floor. Now Bramwell back to serve. Great serve. And good eye, that goes out of bounds. Bramwell with the ace. It was too hot for Wilkins to handle.
Down 4. Coming in for Magnes, number 9, Toure Wakwezi.
Toure Wakwezi coming in for the first time this evening. Toure out of York U. Had the chance to see him play in person a few times. And Bramwell too strong on that attempt.
Serve goes out of bounds.
So again, Magnes will now serve for the set. Toure will serve.
Toure Wakwezi serving for the set.
Torrey out of Brampton, Mayfield High School. Gets the roll and the ace. Torrey Wakwesi. And that's set point for Magnes. They take the second, so they get 2 points for that second set. Magnes now in the lead as we head to set number 3.
And on aggregate,
No, that's the
Beaches still takes
that's the end of it.
by 4 points.
So Beaches, sorry, forgive me, took it. I'm discombobulated. I'm doing too much up here with the scoring and the commentating. So I thought with that, Magnes would take it, but they don't. Beach Hops still win on points on aggregate. So I need a breather. I got to reset, take a drink of water, get some air. We'll be back in a few minutes for the start of the women's match.